You're listening to Say It Come. I'm just saying the waffle, as a waffle, is absolutely obnoxious. Hey, this is just a song that fits in between genres. We're really trying to tell you that we're down-home folks without saying we're country, because we don't want the connotation of being good old boys.
I trade my truck for an iPhone 1. Turns out it was stolen and no longer worked.
No.
The gods don't interfere with what may or may not be a cursed weapon. She didn't care when freaking a demon was in our party. Why would she give a crap about a cursed act?
That's funny.
What are you doing? Oh my God! What is happening?
This is why we did Say It Common, just for these kind of moments right here.
How's it going, everybody? AJ Cannon here from the Commoners of D&D. As you probably already know, I act as our quote-unquote producer here for the podcast. So I record, edit, mix, engineer the podcast. All the original music you hear throughout the podcast episodes, that's all me. If it's audio, anything audio, I'm the audio guy. So we used to do a segment on Say It in Common sometimes. I think we called it Beyond Common, where we would talk about behind-the-scenes things, some of the stuff it takes to put these things together, whether it be podcasts, videos, whatever content it may be. We just kind of give you an inside look onto how those things come to be, how we do some of that. So that's kind of what this is going to be today, is a little Beyond Common. I wanted to tack it on at the beginning of this episode of Say It in Common because I want y'all to listen to the episode and then give me some feedback, because I'm going to be doing some things a little bit differently audio-wise to maybe make this a little bit easier on myself, and still make a good product for y'all to listen to. So you can give us feedback in the form of a comment on Podbean directly to the podcast if you're listening there. If you want to go to our social media, send us a direct message or a comment there as well, or go to the live stream on Twitch Mondays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find us there. Holler at us in the chat. Let us know what you thought about this episode of Say It in Common from an audio standpoint. Was it listenable? Did it sound fine? Was it disappointing? Was it not like the others? I just need to know if I can continue doing these this way. A lot of times I hyperanalyze things. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to audio, as you probably noticed. So we're always trying to put out the highest quality thing, but it can sometimes be a stumbling block to me as I'm going a little bit overboard on how we're putting some of these things out, making extra work for something that probably people aren't even going to notice or think about if you're just a casual listener to the podcast. It's just things that I myself hear, and if y'all don't mind it, I can learn to put up with it. Putting out something that's maybe not quite as premium or quite up to my standards, if it's listenable and it's good enough. Me and Dustin, both over here at the Commoners, we do 99% of the audio video stuff. We're always trying to put out the highest quality version of something that we can, and not only something that's easily digestible and consumable, but that's also enjoyable to listen to or to watch. We don't want to put out a video that looks like it was filmed with a toaster. We don't want to put out audio that is hard to understand, too quiet, too loud, too harsh. We want it to be enjoyable to listen to, not something you have to struggle through. I think that's pretty much common sense for any creators out there. So anyway, give me some feedback on this. To kind of let you know what it is that I'm doing different, I'm going to go a little bit in depth into how we normally record and mix and release these things for y'all to hear. Speaking first about how we record an episode of the campaign. So I want to kind of set it up in your mind so you see some of the variables that we have to deal with, and then what I have to do in the post-production process to put out the thing that it is you hear. So when we sit down to play a game, we got 8 guys around a table. We've got 8 microphones. And what's being done is a very dynamic performance. It seems kind of silly to call it a performance when you're just talking about some goofballs sitting around playing Dungeons and Dragons, but there's improv and acting involved. There's voice acting. There's emotion that comes into play. So there's one moment you're whispering, role playing, The next, you're yelling and screaming about something that happened. People are being human around the table, coughing, sneezing, laughing. There's all kinds of different levels of sound. People are different distances from their microphones. On top of that, we're playing in a variety of different rooms, at different houses, in different environments, which all come with their own unique acoustic qualities. Some that are more pleasing and easy to deal with, some that are a lot harder to deal with. We used to play at Seth's house a lot, which has a high ceiling and a lot of hard surfaces. You can hear that on those episodes. You can hear a very reflective sound in the room, reverb and echo coming off of the walls. On the other end of the spectrum, we have maybe Anthony's house or the room we play in at Kyle's house, which is much lower ceiling, carpeted floor. There's a lot less reflection in those rooms. You can hear that on the recordings. So by the time you put all these little variables together, you come out with a pretty nightmarish recording situation from an audio's engineer standpoint. A lot of variables, a lot of different things to deal with. A good example of this and why we do this the way we do now is if you go back and listen to episode 1, 2, 3, the first few episodes, I tried to record this with a couple mics. There was 4 or 5 of us at the time, and it was very apparent right away that we weren't going to be able to do it that way. There was just too much. There's too much echo, too much non-direct sound. I realized right away everybody needed their own mic. But that also comes with its own share of challenges. Now you've got 8 different mics, 8 different variables. So let me kind of set this up in your mind to show you, what it looks like when we sit down to record one of these things. We got 8 guys around the table, 8 mics. The very first thing we do is check each mic individually. I try to get everybody's level around the same. Everybody's sitting kind of different angles, different distances from their microphones. So I try to get it as consistent across there as I can. That makes it a lot easier on me in the back end when I go to actually mixing it if everybody's kind of coming in at the same level, where it's a lot more kind of a copy-paste process for me getting this thing set up. Then once we start playing and recording, there's a kind of a set of rules that each person is accountable to individually. So phones have to be on airplane mode or at least off the table, away from your mics. That way we don't get any kind of phone interference. You've probably heard us talk about crosstalk or idle chatter. Some of it is kind of inevitable, but basically don't talk on somebody else's turn. If there's role play going on, don't interrupt that. Don't be having a conversation with the guy next to you when 2 people are having a conversation in-game. And don't be talking over people during combat on their turn. And then third rule is, when it is your turn in combat, stay in front of your mic. Don't stand up to look at the map. Don't stand up to move your mini. Somebody else can do that for you. In the middle of the table where the battle map would be, there's no mics. Like, you're in a complete dead zone. You're looking at the back end of everybody's microphone from there. So anything that is said leaned over the table is not picking up in any microphone. 0. So if it's your turn, you're supposed to stay in front of your microphone and let somebody else move your mini, let somebody else count the spaces for you and relay information from the table. Obviously, it's kind of impossible to follow all those rules directly. Sometimes you have to stand up and look at the table, but sit back down before you say something. Or before you say something important. Sometimes it's important to be talking strategy during somebody's turn. So just get as far away from the mic as you can and whisper to the guy next to you. Write it down, send a text message, whatever it may be, to try to minimize talking over somebody that's on their turn. And sometimes you have to use your phone. We all try to get on the Wi-Fi, whoever's house we're at. Every now and then you got to get on the internet to look at something, look up a rule, pull up a character sheet, whatever it may be, it happens. But all those things we're kind of responsible for individually to make that easier also on the back end. So here's why it has to be mixed the way that it is mixed. We've got 8 mics around a table. When Dustin is talking, Not only is his mic picking him up, 7 other mics are picking him up as well in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It may be, if you're the guy sitting next to him, it may be a pretty direct line from Dustin's mouth to your mic. So that's inevitable. If Dustin's speaking and you're across the table from him, Dustin's mic or Dustin's voice is bouncing off the wall behind you and coming back into your mic. It's reflecting into your microphone. All these mics are picking up Dustin's voice in some capacity. When I play that back, everything's set at the same level, each mic set at the same level, it sounds like you're in a cave. Because all 7 of those mics picking up Dustin's voice are drowning out the one mic that is actually picking up the direct sound from his mouth, his own mic. So it doesn't matter if you set up 20 mics or one microphone, it's gonna sound the same if you don't go in and mix it the way that I do. So then what I do on the back end, I set everybody at about 0. Everything is leveled out. Everybody is the same level. I go to the beginning of the podcast recording and I hit play. I have a production controller here on my desk that has volume faders. I can set each microphone to its own volume control. I hit play and I go in and I record the moves I'm making on my mixer controller. So it's called recording automation. So when Anthony's talking, I'm moving his fader up and moving everybody else down to bring out Anthony's voice above everybody else. Say me and Seth are having a conversation during the game. I'm going to push me and Seth's voice out above everybody else's and bring everybody else down. Without doing that, it all sounds like one chaotic, reflective recording of the sound of everything bouncing off around the room. But by me isolating each track, when Tyrell's talking, I push Tyrell up and I bring everybody else down. That way, any crosstalk that is happening, any reflection that's coming from any other mic in the room is minimized, taken away, so I can bring out what Tyrell's saying. Sometimes that's easy to do. Sometimes there is a role-playing situation where there's a back and forth between 2 players, 3 players, and it's easy to bring it up and down and isolate what needs to be isolated. Other times, everybody's talking and screaming, there's something crazy happened, everybody's laughing, and I want to bring out a funny comment that's made, or I want to bring out an important thing that's being said amongst this chaos. I have to do that as well. So in order for this to be this recording that is clear with continuity where you can hear the story actually being told the way it should be told, it's necessary for me to do it like that. Otherwise, it would just be a wash of sound. It would be almost unintelligible. There would be a lot more responsibility on the players to stay directly on their microphone, not be in the moment, not be in the room, never interrupt, never speak over, never speak on anybody else's turn. It would be almost impossible. It wouldn't be fun to play, and it probably would sound very sterile. As opposed to the way we do it, it sounds live. It sounds like a bunch of guys in a room, but at the same time, I'm bringing out and accentuating the moments that need to be brought out in order for the story to be told and for everybody to be clear on what it is that's happening. Now, said all that to say, I've been doing Say It in Common the exact same way, which I think is very overboard because it's in a much more controlled situation where we're not moving around. We're not standing up to look at the table. There's not 8 guys. Usually it's 3, 4, or maybe 5 guys that show up to do it. And we're all sitting in front of a microphone for a couple hours just talking to each other. And it's so much easier to remain consistent, and you don't have this chaotic mess going on of so many people all having these different conversations and things happening. Last episode of Say It in Common was just me, Tyrell, and Seth. And I tried it the way that I did it this time. And I think it worked out pretty good. Probably nobody even noticed a difference. So I'm going to try it again this time where I'm not going to go through and sit for 2 hours and record fader movements. I'm going to set it where it sounds good. It sounds fine. It's listenable. You can hear each person individually pretty well. Minimize the noise. Minimize everything underneath. and then just post it. I'm not going to sit here and automate faders for 2 or 3 hours like I would normally do. Because when I go to doing that, that's taken me twice the time it takes to listen to it. Pretty close to twice the time. If I've got a 2-3 hour podcast, you're looking at 4 to 6 hours sitting here mixing it. And that's wasting time that I could be working on the campaign, which is what's important to everybody. This is kind of just the bonus content. The super fans are listening to it. They find it interesting just to hear our conversations, which is great. I want to keep putting that out for you guys. But at the same time, the campaign can take priority if doing a Say It in Common episode, it only takes 15, 20 minutes for me to dial it in and put it on the internet. It's ready to go. Then I can go to working on the campaign. That way, I can get directly into working on that, so we can put these things out a little bit more consistently. If Say It in Common wasn't its own entity, its own animal that I had to tackle every time, and I could just kind of put it out as is, it'd be a lot less work for me, be a lot more content for y'all to consume on a more consistent basis. So that's what we're going to try. Listen to this podcast, analyze it, be critical, holler at us in the comments, and give us some feedback. If it's bad, it's bad. I'll go back to doing it how I was. If it's listenable, if it's consumable, we're going to keep doing it like this, and it'll make it a lot easier on me. Thank y'all for your time. Hope you enjoyed that little look behind the scenes. Here's Say It in Common. Check, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. You're listening to Say It in Common, where we talk about it all, not just Dungeons and Dragons. I'm AJ Cannon.
Seth Templin.
Tyrell Merle.
Dustin Foltz.
Yeah. Been a while, boys.
Yeah, it has.
Been
Things
a good
have
long
happened.
while. Things have happened. We can get into that more later if it comes up. But first of all, if you don't already, go check us out on all the platforms. Dustin's doing a ton of work, way more than me lately, on the YouTube.
Not lately. I was even gone yesterday.
Well, we got stuff on YouTube. We got old streams. We got funny clips of us playing Helldivers and other games.
Oh, yeah. I still got to get Mal's video edited where he blew me up.
Yeah. Really, really good story behind that one. That was funny.
That was a short we made for ourselves, not for you, but you're welcome to watch it.
But, Twitter/X, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all the stuff. Go follow us. And Twitch is our most consistent form other than YouTube, which is Mondays and Fridays most of the time. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We've been playing Helldivers 2, but
Completely abandoned Dead by Daylight.
it sucks.
Oh, dude, it looks good. The Knight got that rework.
I can't imagine what the game is like now. If you're not evolving with it, I can't imagine.
It doesn't look any different, and it doesn't play any different. It's just they've added stuff.
I would be so bad at that now. I was bad at it before.
I was definitely arguably the worst.
No, I don't think you were.
Dude.
Malachi,
You were a very good objective. You were good
If-
enough that knowing how to build a character. I'm not even that good.
I mean, I like stuff. I like skills. That doesn't mean I'm good at using them.
I tried several different builds, and none of them worked out for me.
Tyrell was pretty good at. Tyrell's just reckless, but like as far as like being pretty good for just not spending a lot of time learning how to loop, he was naturally pretty good looper.
I'm an inconsistent chaser. Like I can do good, and then I just die immediately. Like as fast as humanly possible, I would go down.
Mal was really good at it.
Mal is really good.
Mal's good at everything.
When he invests.
He invests a lot of time trying to learn the best way to do something. All respect to him for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like we used to play Call of Duty. He was great at Call of Duty, but I mean, he invested time learning how to do it.
He's good at Helldivers. I do think Tyrell is the best of us at Helldivers at this point. But I think it's between Tyrell
I mean,
and
it's
Mal.
Halo with capes, so it's not a surprise.
I'm definitely the worst at Helldivers. I feel far outclassed playing with y'all.
No,
Like I don't even ever know what's going on. I'm just trying to survive and not use all of our lives.
We're like 75% of the way through the objective, and to AJ will be like, "What are we even doing?"
That's usually what happens. I'll run around for 20 minutes and go, "All right, what's the objective?"
You know you're getting old when you don't even know the objective.
Well, we always just land in a fray,
Yeah.
and I take off running, and I'm killing stuff for like 15 minutes, And meanwhile, Tyrell's done 3 objectives. I haven't even pulled the map up to see where
Tyrell's
we're
not
going
killing
yet.
anything. He's running around with a knife, taking care of business.
Oh my!
He kills stuff too.
You know,
but
the knife in the game is bad if Tyrell isn't using it.
I thought it must be. I've not tried to use it. I don't remember
I've
if I've
tried it
unlocked
several
yet.
times, and I'm not a fan of it. I thought I would be, but like it's good if you're like a stealth-based player, like playing by yourself. Because
If they would give unlimited uses to it, it exists somewhere because it's just looked bad.
like if you're using the resupply pack, like carrying around the backpack on your back, and you have that, it gives you all 8 knives right back, just
Right.
from that. But like,
Oh, you get 8 of them?
yeah, you get 8 of them.
Do they get insta kill or something? How much damage do they do?
It depends on what you're fighting. Like if you're going up against a Hulk, it doesn't do anything to them.
Of course.
If you
Doesn't
go
do anything as a Charger.
Oh,
Doesn't do
no.
anything as a Titan.
The
Doesn't do-
Charger,
anything you want to kill doesn't do it.
the Charger, if you hit them in the leg like 6 times, they die.
Well, that's like
a
6 of
throwing
your
knife?
6 of your.
I know, but I'm just saying that's crazy that a throwing knife can kill a Charger.
Yeah, well, considering all of your grenades probably wouldn't do it, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Impact grenades will not kill a Charger, even though they should, because they have piercing.
Yeah.
They'll kill the ones that spew acid. It'll pop them in a second.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll see 2 of them.
Yeah.
Boom! They're all gone now.
Great on those.
Only the impact grenade though. The other grenades aren't as effective.
Well, anyway, we always get into on the console when we start talking about Twitch. But anyway, yeah, check us out on Twitch.
Yeah.
We've been having a great time over there. We appreciate all those who have stopped by and said hello on Twitch. Mainly Slarchster, Huntro.
On Drone Slarcher, yeah.
the
Appreciate
big
you guys.
fans, the main fans.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
So last time on
Keeping it common.
Commoners D&D, we smoked her, right? We just got to chase her down. That's where we are.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is weird because we're recording this after I've only posted half of the game.
Right.
So I haven't listened to the other half of the game yet. I don't.
I know
remember.
we smoked her.
I know. Yeah, we killed Bathory, but didn't.
We didn't kill
her.
her.
Missed it.
We smoked her.
Missed it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. When she reforms, she will just have 1 hit point, won't she?
We don't know.
Like that was what Winslow was. We
Yeah.
just kept re-killing
They
her.
are weaker.
I suspect she's gonna go through a solid block of wall, and we're just gonna be like, "Who can squeeze through this?"
She's probably like gonna
I
see some
wanted
kind of
to-
metamorphosis.
I wanted to clarify something because if to the casual listener who doesn't know that I planned a lot of this campaign around things in our real world and brought it into the game, Elizabeth Bathory was a real human being here on Earth.
No, Seth is just a really demented individual, blood drinking psychopath.
Everything that she did, I mean, she wasn't a vampire, obviously, but
She
she
was.
would kill young virgin girls and bathe in their blood, just as the group
I mean,
finally
that's just
found her.
allegedly, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's
Yeah, just like,
thought
she
it
was
just
put to
a myth.
death for it.
Really?
Yeah,
Is she
they-
a witch or something?
No, she's a queen.
well, yeah, it's that.
She's literally a duchess, I think.
It's that concept of like,
Trying to keep her
life
youth.
force. Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
she targeted young girls and stuff, crap like that.
So that wasn't just me being like weird or anything. I was, I like, as soon as I decided to put her in the game, I like that. Her in the bath with the young girls being bled into the pool was like always how I envisioned that coming out. And I said during the game, I'm like, I might be really messing myself up here, but this is how I wanted to. And I pulled the map over from the Strahd games, his castle.
Yeah.
And when I saw this blood room, I was like, oh, well, this is perfect for what I want to do anyway.
Yeah.
And y'all just happened to go that way. So I was like, well, this is how I want them to see Bathory, so we're going to make it happen. And if Tate gets the lucky hit and finishes her off, I mean, we still got Freya, we still got the heroes,
Yeah.
we still got all kinds of stuff upstairs. So it's not over. But I really, like, chances are, there's too many of y'all to, like, someone's going to knock her down, you know?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're right.
Now, it is strange that I didn't think I knew that's what that room was. I knew that's what that room was going to be, but I did not think there was any chance of us seeing her in there because they're on high alert. Like, people know that we're in there. So she would too. Why would she be down there unless she wanted us to find her? Or did she
wanted you to.
did she think she was safe?
Well, this is the hard part for a DM. Oh my!
Well,
Listen to that
down
game.
That was down that secret tunnel.
We're gonna take half the dirt. We're gonna take every single bedroll. We're gonna break this trap that, like, with a piston
I
the
was
size
not
of a
happy about
human
that.
being. We're gonna do all these things to show everyone that we have been here. And I'm like, well, man, I mean, honestly, yes, there should have probably just been 50 black cloaks and like a whole bunch of vampires down there waiting for y'all somewhere. But you know,
But in all fairness, a narcissist is a narcissist whether they're being
Sure.
hunted or they're not being hunted. So
Yeah, that's
someone who believes they're above others, I wouldn't think Draxus would be cowering in his boots if he's like, oh, they're in the castle. I'll wait for him at the door. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't give a crap. I mean,
and that's kind of like there was some pretty nasty vampire ladies that I brought out for that one fight actually that I'd never used before.
When we came up out of in the
So
mausoleum.
those were there, and there were some Alps, and they were waiting. Like maybe they'll come back this way. Maybe they stay. Like maybe they'll come back. You know, but Bathory's not going to give up her pampering time because of you guys.
Is that the
Yeah,
Bruxa?
Huh?
Is that the Bruxa?
Roxy.
Oh yeah, that was it. But she, I mean, because she doesn't feel that secure right now, does she?
Probably not. It's
Probably not now.
It's
Because we just keep getting kind of closer and
I'll
closer
get
to
closer
the
and
doorstep.
closer. Yep.
Yeah. See, the issue now is if we back off now, we've created a very serious problem because if there was ever a time where she would run, it'd be that we just
Yeah.
put her on the desk
Yeah,
door.
we have to keep pushing forward.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. We can't be like, oh, let's back off and see what she. No, first, yeah, she'd probably lead a siege on the town
Now,
and then flee.
Did they start our diversion? Right
Yes.
before we ran
Yes.
into Bathory, they have
Yes,
started.
because y'all woke up and you're like, all right, let's get this going. And be like, oh wait, we have to message,
Yeah.
we have to message the circle, and now we have to wait here for 30 minutes.
How long?
I think we waited either 30 minutes or an hour.
No, when did we go to sleep? It was close to 5 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was-
y'all were gonna wake up around 12 and start
Okay.
communicating.
So
and then
well, I was gonna say,
get
well,
your
maybe
full rest over at like 1 o'clock.
maybe
exactly.
all the vampires hadn't come back and seen their beds yet, you know.
Right.
But they would.
The issue
you would
is
think
only
they'd come back at
only
daylight.
one needs to come back and see his stuff screwed
Yeah.
up, and they're all fairly aware.
Now, in
But
the
if one came
podcast-
back and went into their bed and it wasn't messed up, well, we messed up all of them, didn't we?
I think no, I
single
don't.
one.
Did we take the time to hit all of them? I don't know.
Every single one, yep.
Every single
Yep.
one.
Dirt, empty, dirt, little girl, or
But maybe
Young
they
girl.
didn't like.
dirt.
They're up all night. Okay, so they got a 8-hour night shift. They come home. Do they go straight to bed?
Maybe not. And like the
Maybe they hang out in the castle for a
what
while.
y'all kind of got to is this is the lowest of the low servant vampire thing down
Yeah.
here.
In all honesty, they could go up there and be like, "Hey, my bed's screwed up," and they can say, "That's your fault."
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your
or
problem.
they don't even have to sleep, do they?
That's another thing I was curious about. They're undead, so I don't know.
I mean, Dracula always did sleep some during the day mostly.
Like really, I thought the main purpose of their resting place is just
Getting
for
out of the
reforming.
sunlight was my understanding. Yeah.
I mean, they go there to reform.
I've been pretty fast and loose with these
Regenerate.
vampires.
Well, you've kind of been creating
I've mixed
your
a
own
whole
vampire.
bunch of
Yeah.
vampires. Yeah,
And I
just
like it because
I do too.
it makes it where we're not like, okay, we keep our players are learning and we're learning. Oh, this is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't seen this one yet. It's got the same powers as this one, but it does this. It's very interesting to have these levels of vampires. It reminds me of this. I don't remember if I told you about this game or not. What was it? It was like a Western vampire game.
I figured you were going to say Vampire the Masquerade because it has variations of vampires, but no, I'm not
It
sure.
wasn't that. It was. I may not even talked about it on here. I don't remember. It's just super fast paced.
That game that was free on PlayStation.
It was.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it's like a Western or like
Yeah.
early 1900s steampunk.
Kind of steampunky.
Yeah.
yeah.
Super cool game. Never finished playing it, but yeah, there's
Wolfenstein?
No.
Did that have vampires in it?
no.
It was
That's
almost
like a Nazi.
it was
Germany
almost
one.
like Deadwood, but not. It was what? While the Dead West, something like that.
Oh, it's Evil West.
Evil West. Okay.
But I was thinking Evil West was Weird West.
Okay.
Weird West and Evil West. I played both. I'm getting them confused. But yeah, it's all vampiric creatures, and they're all like, some of them are like failed experiments, and some of them are like, yeah, they kind of formed, or they're like a different level of vampire, different species. So that's pretty neat. Same kind of deal. I like that a lot. And Gideon's the only one that had the bones.
Yeah. That was I just found a
Vampiric troll.
it was called a fell troll is what
Fell
it was
troll.
called. Yeah. But I just like I thought Gideon was just a very cool character idea. Or,
Oh, yeah, I
NPC.
loved him.
Just a troll being a tailor
Yeah.
is just kind of a cool thing, and then
Having humongous hands and a teeny tiny needle.
yeah, and then he turns out to be bad too. Is like, well, is there a vampire troll? Yeah, someone built a fell troll, so. And I just used their rules, and their rules said that when the bones had to be separated so far away, so when the final bone was sticking out of the was not in the bag of holding, that's when they were finally far enough away that it
Yeah.
that it finished them. So that was cool. Let's see
What
what
else?
else.
Mostly combat.
There's
but-
like a whole aspect of D&D that players either invest heavily in or ignore completely, and that's the like scavenging monster parts to turn into money. You can tell I want to try to do it, but the problem is there's no. It's entirely up to the DM or to interpret from the world. Because I was like, look, I got all this vampire dust in here, and I need money.
Just something you could experiment
Don't we?
with.
Doesn't somebody still have that heart? I don't even know where it's at or who has it.
A vampire heart?
No, the heart of the swamp dragon.
Oh.
No, one of the Ints maybe. I don't remember.
It was one of those big trees.
that corruption. Yeah, we have one of those corrupted hearts. Maybe we got rid of it, or maybe it turned into sludge. I don't remember.
I think that was the thing that.
Everett took maybe.
No, it wasn't Everett at the time. It was Dexter's other character, Jarrett.
Jarrett.
Yeah,
Right.
Jarrett. He
took
tried to bring it on the barge, and Quincy threw it in the water.
it. Okay.
I'm not carrying that stupid thing around.
It stinks.
Yeah, that would be disgusting and huge. We barely can even all fit on the raft, and we're going to take this heart the size of a halfling on the barge with us.
But
Oozing sap.
I've got it. I don't want to spoil anything for two of you, but AJ,
I was about to ask
probably
you about
because he listens so much, he picks up more than a lot of people, and like he's gonna have something to talk about next Say It in Common. I figure.
I was gonna
depending
ask
on
if
how
I could-
far we get tonight. I would rather you not.
Okay.
I'd rather you not, but like. He just sent me a text in the middle of the week. He's like, no one else is picking up on this thing that you're doing, but I know you're doing this. And I was like, what was... I just completely changed this. Like, you want to go disc golfing? And I was so proud that he picked it up. It was cool. I am so excited about this. Like, I have always talked throughout this whole campaign about how I just run with stuff off the cuff, but I do have, like, overarching plans that, like, I've been waiting for a long time to drop these little things and see how it comes to I mean, tonight, if we finish the castle tonight, it's gonna be mind-blowing. I'm so excited.
I hope we finish it.
I hope so, too.
I hope the
too.
listeners don't mind all combat like that.
We're gonna have a lot of
Mostly
combat in a row.
last time, mostly
Yeah.
combat this time.
Combat is really exciting in the moment.
In the moment. Probably not to listen to.
Well, listen, Slarster, you just do what you're doing.
Hey, shout out to Slarster. He's wrote a fan fiction
He
of
mentioned
our campaign.
Has he sent you any of it?
Yeah, I've read a lot of it already.
How much is it?
It was 35 pages. I've not finished it. But this is all...
This was Draxus coming into
This
power.
was all
right?
before the kind of during the fall, and like I love his concept of it. Like it is from this knight's order that is following a goddess, and I kind of like that I don't know if he ever put a name to it, but he just kind of called it My Lady, almost as if the name has already been forgotten, and people are just forgetting this deity that they absolutely love because the Draxus is kind of. Is his will making them forget? Is like, are they just wanting to turn their backs on the gods?
Right.
It's really cool read. It's a really cool read.
Did he finish it or is it?
I think he has posted it online. He told me that he was finishing it. He was going to have his wife proofread it.
Oh my gosh, I want to go read it.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Dang,
it's
Slarster.
really
Is it lore official, Seth?
I don't know.
You make
I
it
have
so.
to finish it.
Yeah.
I told him I asked him where he thought that it kind of fit in, and he said I don't really know. And I said I think it could fit into the Dying Plains before they were dying, and I'm gonna read a little bit more. And if I get to if y'all ever go there and we find a place, maybe y'all find an old wine bottle or something that has a familiar name to his story or something like that. It's cool.
That's very interesting.
Let's check that out.
Well, it's just like kind of us. The stuff that we do influences how Seth decides the lore is.
Yeah.
So now Seth can be like, yeah, let me study that and then implement some of this into the game.
Yeah, be careful what you say to Seth.
He just gathers information. Like, oh, they would hate that. Let me figure out a way to get that in there.
I've never done anything
No,
to
you
purposefully hurt y'all.
No, not to. Well,
I just feel like
not
Tyrone
hurt
like,
us.
said that I found this really cool thing called a false hydra. It's wild. And said it's like, it is wild. It is wild.
I would love to run a false hydra, but there's just no way you can
can't.
run it any better than the story that I've already read. So there's no point in trying to run
Well-
it because that DM did it perfect.
So what I did, because I wanted to run a false hydra too, but obviously you can't because I'd already told my students about it.
Yeah.
Well, one in particular, one that actually was super interested in D&D, and I was like, I told him about it at esports, so I was like, well, I obviously can't run a false hydra. So all my seniors at the end of last school year wanted to do one big one shot for the final thing. So I was like, okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. Y'all just defeated a false hydra, but I've made tweaks to its lore where whatever memories it took are gone. So you don't even know what you're supposed to know. So they were actually going on a quest to get a ring of wishing to wish back their memories. And they ended up going into a mansion that was absolutely infested with mimics.
Yeah.
So it's a mimic colony.
Yeah. It was actually a wizard's home that he had like put the mimics under his control. The entire house was a mimic.
Yeah.
And when they killed the heart, it started dying with them in it. And yeah, it was fun. I almost killed one of them because one of them was a shelf. So I found like 7 different variants of mimic, and I was able to adjust their power levels where basically anything that they did now that this wizard who owned the house was gone, his enchantments were slipping. So anything that they did was impacting the enchantments, and more mimics were waking up. But they're mimics. They're not just going to jump at you. They're going to wait. So I was rolling constantly. They're like, why is he rolling so much? Everything that they did was a skill check. Was a check to see if a mimic woke up. And the more that they did, the higher, the lower the DC for a mimic to wake up became to make it easier for them to wake up.
That's cool.
I had one particular mimic that was called like a stalker mimic, and it woke up a long time ago, but they didn't know it. And they're all going down the stairs. Guess who the last one down the stairs was? The wizard. And that stalker was I had it behind. It was behind him. It was a
That
shelf.
coat rack just kept following him.
It was see what happened is they came into the kitchen, made a bunch of noise, so he woke up in the kitchen, but then they left, and I was like, oh man, how am I gonna get something from the kitchen into? Well, they came back to the kitchen. I was like, this is great, and they went down the stairs. So I was like, that stalker that woke up is gonna be a shelf. And my student David, he's a great kid, he's the last one down the stairs. He also happens to be a wizard, so he has all the health points. He's going down the stairs, and I was like, as you go down the stairs, you see the shelf leaning over, and it takes a critical hit on him, and he makes it down the stairs with like 5 HP.
Oh
he
my
only
God.
survived because he was a abjuration wizard, and he had casted the shield on him earlier. That's the only reason he didn't go down and collapse. Like he would have been, because he was on a staircase. If he didn't have those temporary help points, he would have fallen unconsciously down a staircase, instantly taken a death saving throw from falling damage, and been at the bottom of the stairs with a stalking mimic. He got lucky and unlucky at the same time.
Can a mimic look like whatever it wants to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
gonna ask Ty.
I was gonna say that Cobalt Press has like I think at least 3 different versions of mimics in there.
I had a mimic that was a fork
Yeah.
that attacked him. It wasn't supposed to be high health. It was a really low. It was in the kitchen, and it was supposed, because basically if a mimic woke up, I rolled on a mimic spreadsheet, and the one that I rolled for was supposed to be a tiny, weak little mimic. So I was like, all right. When one of them got too close, and I was like, all right. When you put your hand on the counter, just stabbed him right in
Oh
the
my god,
This is
that's
ridiculous.
terrifying. Actually,
it had like 8 health or something.
The whole mansion turned out to be a mimic. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh, it's like Monster House.
Yeah, Monster House was a huge inspiration for it. They actually killed like
That's awesome.
The heart of the mimic was actually a treasure chest, and in the treasure chest was a beating heart.
Did you build the whole thing?
Yeah.
Like you need to post that somewhere or sell it.
Yeah, it was cool. It was called the, I forgot. I used 3 M's. This mysterious mimic mansion is the official name, but then I was like, can't put mimic in the title, so I think it's the mysterious midnight mansion was the name of the. It was like an Airbnb.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I've been listening to some lit RPG books, and the character got a mimic, and they decided it was going to be their pet, and they just keep feeding bad guys to it, and it just keeps it keeps
bigger.
leveling up and getting bigger, and like it can change what it wants.
Does this DM know how mimics reproduce?
Huh?
They just split into two.
It's not split yet, but
Yeah, that's how they reproduce. They just pop in half.
Are
and now
they?
there's two.
What's the true form of a mimic?
No,
They're like an amorphous blob.
yeah, probably like a slime, basically.
Yeah, but they can form like teeth and whatnot, like out of the mouth that they make.
Wow.
the writer's really clever with it. He's like, sometimes the chest will just be sitting on the ceiling for some reason, and the guy will start talking to it, and instead of like the chest turning, it just suddenly its face is like looking towards him, and it grows eyes all over the place wherever it wants to, and it's really cool.
If you watch Harry Potter, a mimic and a boggart are basically the
similar.
same thing, except a boggart targets fears. A mimic can be anything.
Yeah, they did that in Baldur's Gate. There's like one particular area where when you're down in the Underdark, you go like down this like side of this cliff, and you like come out to the edge, and there's this random 3 treasure chests just sitting there on the edge of a cliff for some no apparent reason at all. You walk up to it, and as soon as you go to activate it, like your character's hand reaches out to touch it, and like these eyes open up all over the front of the chest, and then it opens up the chest itself. And it's just teeth, nothing but teeth, and then it gets legs, and they start coming at you.
Oh my gosh.
And they have this crazy tongue attack that can like throw you off the cliff.
One day I'll play Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah,
It is a fun game.
I know it's a fun game. It's just $60
I just
game. I've
realized
got
we're
enough games.
gonna have to rearrange in here.
I was gonna say,
we're
who's
gonna
gonna
slide
sit
that
over
couch opposite of this one, and then like put you here or something,
Yeah.
and me across.
Seth is gonna
don't
pipe
know.
into the TV, throw some.
Oh no, Seth, you
graphics
can
up
stay on
there.
that end. We'll treat this end like Kyle's computer desk at his house.
Okay.
Me and Tyle sit on this end, and then
Well, here's one chair. Do we have another?
I've got 2 stools back behind here. So me and Tyle sit there, and then
We're in AJ's house again.
Dexter,
Yeah.
Dexter, Dustin, you, and then Kyle, Cameron, Anthony, like we
Yeah, the
usually
3
do.
of them right here. You're gonna move this couch, shift it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it'll be exactly like Kyle's if we move the 3-seater over there.
Cobalt Press has like I was just gonna say this
No, go
about
ahead.
the mimics, like, and also there's an ooze I wanted to talk about too.
I love oozes.
There's a shark bowl ooze. It is a enormous ooze, like the size of this room or bigger, that acts as an aquarium for a shark.
Wow.
It pulls you into itself
Super
with a
cool.
shark inside of it, eating
Oh,
you.
it's like a parasite. Like it doesn't kill the shark because the
Yeah.
shark feeds it.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's wild.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Smart
Who
people.
created that?
Fun
That
people.
was Cobalt Press.
Well, I mean, like, would that be?
Someone in Cobalt Press came up
Yeah.
with
But
it.
I mean, like, would that be something in the world that
Look.
somebody would have had to have created?
I
Probably a
want
wizard with a sense of humor.
I want an ooze to be my ultimate big bad. That's how badly I want him to be good. I already have the plans for it. Like it's gonna be amazing.
what's
A
that?
big bad ooze.
A big bad ooze.
The worst ooze that I could ever think of, I think it's either Guanatower or what's that demon lord? There's that one that's an ooze. I can't think of what it's called.
This one will be completely homebrew because I already know what it would do, and I would definitely
Please tell us.
it would definitely interact with the damage mechanic. Damage does things to it that makes it more complicated. I would make an absolute monster to deal with, even the weaker forms of it.
Keep slashing it. Keep slashing it.
Slashing it. It's like it would resist the damage and become 2 oozes. Slashing's easy.
Oh, that also reminds me of another creature from Cobalt Press too. There's a
Tyrell's Monster Minute.
no, there's a creature that basically is from being exposed, a human brain being exposed to too much psionic energy, and it causes the person's head to explode.
But does the brain live?
The brain
Yeah.
becomes alive. But what happens is there's so many of them, so many people can die from so much psionic energy that they all start coming together as multiple ooze-like
Oh, it's just a big
creatures,
brain.
and it builds itself up. Malleables, that's what they're called. And they actually can get gargantuan sized. And they are ridiculous. And the more damage you do to them, the more like smaller malleables
Right.
they become.
That's cool.
It's funny that like one of the most classic D&D enemies of all time is the gelatinous cube. It
Yeah.
sounds ridiculous, and that's like a classic.
Well,
like,
it's that
first edition.
I think because it comes from like D&D's roots of dungeoning.
Yeah.
Gelatinous ooze was a huge problem because you just walk into it and you're just
It's like
Yeah,
Gary
you can't see
Gygax
it,
forgot
can
to prepare one night, and like he's like, let's just look around the house. Oh, I have Jello cubes. This is your big bad.
It's even on that Disney movie Onward. It's real fantasy based. They even run into a gelatinous cube.
It is an iconic one.
So many different types of oozes. So many homebrew different types of oozes.
I'm working on 32 challenge from Magic the Gathering. That's getting a deck of every possible color combination. I'm about 2/3 of the way there. My mono green is all oozes. And the name of the deck is Ooze Your Buddy.
A ooze I just thought of is the
Terrell's Monster Minute.
I keep thinking of these creatures. It's the they're created by mind flayers. They're oozes. They're experimented on by mind flayers. They were actually created by a Make-A-Wish kid, and I can't think of what they're called. Dadgummit. They're really crazy, but basically what they do is they could literally take over an entire town because they kill off like the people
Or they replace them?
and they replace them with another version of that person, which is actually an ooze. They just look like that person. They take on the exact
Just like
form
an
and
alien
everything.
invasion.
Yeah,
Oh wow!
but they feed off of like the memories of those people.
That's cool.
Boy.
Oozes are awesome, and they should be in every campaign.
I can't think of
Sorry, I
what
don't
they're
think
called.
we've had a news, have
He
we?
said there's never had an ooze. He's had a lot of other
Right
horrible
now.
things happen, but no oozes.
I try to put things
An
in-
Oblex, that's what they're called.
I've heard the name, but I've never heard the description.
Well, back to our game. We was talking about combat not being
Yeah,
that
yeah.
interesting to listen to. The deal is a lot of our combat is so story oriented, like the little stories going on in between us and the enemy, and like our character choices of who are we going to kill first, or like how are we going to get Buck to hit the vampires? How is the Heroes of Juniper Grove are going to be in there? How does Jules interact with that situation? I think it's really interesting. It's not like we're just dungeon crawling around. It doesn't mean anything.
Right.
We just run into various enemies. It's like these are all like key story characters. Who's going to die and how are we going to make it happen? Because there's so many complicated parameters to deal with. So
Yeah,
I think
that's-
that makes it more interesting. Plus, if you like D&D, you don't mind listening to combat.
That's true. I never really minded listening to Critical
Yeah.
Role's combat
Yeah.
and stuff.
Sometimes I would zone out, but
Right, that's
it would depend on the fight. If it was
be-
against a big bad evil, like a chapter ending type of thing, I was very invested.
I went back and watched them fight Vecna
Yeah.
2 or 3 times. Just
And
Very interesting.
even the players, like there's gonna be times we're gonna zone out in combat. We've all done it. We all will do it. I mean, it just depends on what's going on. You know, sometimes you're just like, let me just take a second. But then other times you're like, I gotta be ready for my turn because I'm doing something fun. You know, who knows?
The worst part about combat is waiting for your turn, because you'll change. You could possibly
Oh, yeah.
change what you're going to do
yeah.
5 times when it's coming around the
Yeah,
table.
look, my turn ends. Whoever goes after me in initiative takes a turn. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And I'm sitting there waiting. And I'm like, not anymore.
yeah, and they could change right before
Right, yeah,
whoever
but
goes right
Honestly,
before you.
it could
change
actually
you.
change way more times than that. I was thinking just it could change on each person's turn, but
In-
there's enemies too.
Yeah, they
In
get
fact,
to
change
in
12
one of our
times.
last combats that happened with me, I was like, I think you went down or somebody went down. I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go in there, grab him, and teleport us to a safe distance, and then use a potion or something. And then here comes Dexter and grabs him
Yeah.
and pulls him. I'm like, I guess I'm fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super hard to know what you're going to do on your turn. I always have a couple ideas. I'm like, well, if he's still there, I'm going to go over there.
What gripes me though is when I do listen back over, I'm like, why didn't I do this? God, I didn't.
I need
didn't
to go
manage
back-
my character good.
I need to
enough.
go back sometime and listen to the entire campaign and count how many times I didn't re-roll a 1. It's a habit now.
You remember it pretty good now, yeah.
I remember it now every time. But I've had lucky since I was level 0
Yeah.
because it's a halfling trait.
Yeah.
And I was just listening the other day, and it was in the fight with at Derry, the King's Day melee thing. Didn't re-roll a natural 1. 10 episodes in, I wasn't re-rolling.
I don't know how many times I've heard Kyle ask, "Do I add my initiative to that?"
Yeah, you only add your initiative to one thing.
Sometimes, I mean, it's hard to remember, like, certain things like about your character race or something from way back. You know,
That's
you
true.
You don't remember every single thing. Like I forgot that you have advantage
I
against.
know what
being,
you're thinking about.
Freaking Cameron. You're immune to poisons, right? Right.
Am I?
Right, me?
I know, he said sure.
He said,
Sure. Don't sure me.
Question,
Dadgum
not
dwarf,
statement.
man.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I am now.
What were you saying, Ty? What did you
I was
forget?
going to say, I think it's like the high elves or wood elves, either one. I think they have advantage on being charmed. I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sleep.
Yeah, and
Magically
sleep, yeah.
induced sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
But you wanted your character to go away for a while,
Right.
so
Yeah.
I took
mean,
all the flack on that. But you wanted it to go away, so I
I'm
made
just
it go away.
saying, I forgot that was a thing too.
yeah.
No,
It came in though when you broke the spell and she
Yeah.
tried again, but you have advantage. So.
Halflings are a great race.
Halflings are a fantastic race. They're a fun race.
They get so much stuff, and it's because they're kind of like they're slow. I
Lightfoot
guess
halflings, super fun.
So, the thing that I've
they
come
make
to
up
learn
for it with the lucky
from-
and brave, and
from any game system,
Hiding behind.
they
bigger
refuse
things.
to punish a player for any choice. That usually means a smaller race it gets just exponentially better. When the reality of the world is a smaller race is also going to get beat up more. They're not as strong. They're not as anything as anyone else.
Your race ought to have more to do with your hit points than your character class.
yeah,
I mean, I agree, but then that makes a busted wizard.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also why like trolls get reduced intelligence because they don't. Because even if that was a thing, they wouldn't want orcs. You really don't want an orc to be a wizard because that's not really they're not raised. That's not their. That's not like a gift they have. Like like elves are smart and
it's not part of their
charismatic.
culture as much.
Well, or their environment. You
Yeah.
know, they're raised in harsh environments. That's why they have more dexterity, more strength, and more constitution.
yeah, but now we got to be inclusive. So
Yeah, it's,
you know,
yeah.
there's
You say
no
that-
penalties anymore.
You say that, but this is kind of wild. There was that thing that cancel Tolkien for a while because orcs are black people.
but they're not.
Ridiculous.
I don't know.
Wizards of the Coast have just made orcs
Mexican.
Mexicans.
I saw that. I saw that.
It's
did they do that?
hilarious. They're drawing them looking like Mexican with
they're
Mexican
Hispanic looking?
Yeah, with like Hispanic
like
mustaches
the
and
handlebar
goatees
mustache.
and
When did they start doing that?
this new edition is coming out.
Yeah, just a roll back.
So orcs
I saw
are from
I saw this
Mexico.
Mexican guy was like, "Are you offended?" He's like, "No, I'm going to make the most awesome abuelita ever."
But that's silly that they make it like there's make a wizard orc and start with low intelligence and use all of your ASIs to make his intelligence better. Like that makes for a
the
cool
thing-
story.
Well, right, it
will make it
does.
cool for a
But
story.
players have
Whiny.
a problem. It's like if they can't start with an 18 or a 20, why even play? It's like that's a decision you made.
Yeah.
Like if you want to lean into a high stat, you lean into a class with a high stat, or you just go human. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just human.
I mean,
just-
that's
But
kind of
now
the whole
with
point.
Toshas and stuff, you can
Variant everything.
vary in everything.
Yeah, variant everything, and so you can min max any race in any class.
Yeah.
Basically,
You can
And
get.
I didn't love that, but to begin with, but it does keep you from.
I mean, if
You
you want
can make an orc wizard and tell that story the same, like
right
without getting punished.
I think the variant human is probably variant anything is the most respectable because that's basically saying, yes, I'm an orc, but I wasn't. But make a story that explains it. I wasn't raised by
Right.
orcs. I was raised by elves.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a wizard. That's why I'm smart. I was educated. I can be fine with that. I just get like
See, I think our level 0 thing actually
It
works
makes that
better
happen.
than that
Yeah.
because you can make yourself an orc and have a minus, which they don't even have minuses anymore, do they? 5th edition? Did it?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Half orcs.
The beast races I think had
They
some.
might have.
The
But-
orcs probably did. The half orcs did.
half orcs don't have a
you're
minus
right,
in
you're
5.
right.
No,
but
but
they
I
had
think-
the +2 and stuff to all that stuff. But then you're wanting to be a wizard, so and you might have rolled Wizard's Apprentice. You're still getting a big bump up to your wisdom. You're just also gonna be strong and have a high constitution.
Those backgrounds in that level 0
Super
thing
good.
are so good,
Yeah, they're
and
so
that's
good.
how it should be every time. It's like just because you're a certain race doesn't mean you can't be a specialist in something.
Yeah.
You know,
Or be raised outside of the norm. You could be raised by wolves, so you have a ton of wisdom because you survived your whole life and now you're a druid. I'm fine with that. I just want a story that explains it. As long as you support your decision, make the decision. I don't care. Just support it. Don't say, well, this is what it said online and it makes me the strongest.
And non-min-max characters are so much cooler.
They are.
I like
Quincy's so cool.
I like
Quincy's
characters
cool.
with
I love
faults.
Quincy.
It's fun, especially if you know how to lean into them. Some faults are hard to lean into.
That being said, should I have erased Buck's fighting levels?
Well, you did, didn't you?
I did. Should
Yeah.
have.
Well, you didn't. He still has some of the best fighting
Right.
stuff, so you didn't technically. Saying you erase fighter levels, but getting to keep second wind and action surge is still 2 levels.
I
of
think the
fighter.
way you did it was perfect. He got to keep the stuff. He literally trained. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for him to have
That's
lost
the
what he
best
learned
thing
at
I
the
think.
academy.
Looking at it.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So just because he might lose. It's more like a mental thing than it is a physical training thing. Very interesting on that one too. Is anybody else like that? Gillard's pretty.
It was
Straight up.
Yeah, cool.
Ernst.
I made the character level 8. It was much easier for me.
First was that way.
well,
Ernst
yeah,
was
but
that way.
he's still kind of min-maxed.
He is
Yeah.
well, but yeah, he was min maxed through player choice rather than storytelling.
Well, like I brought him way down, and I said he's been trained, so he was like a level 5 just fighter for a while, and then
Rask is kind of because he's doing more magic stuff now, isn't he? And he's not really
Yeah.
like
I mean,
set up.
but no,
for
he
that.
hasn't changed anything. He's still true to
He's
his.
just doing it within his monk.
He always was gonna be the 4 elements monk,
The-
and
the
he's
biggest-
just
the
learning
biggest-
how to do those elements better.
Yeah.
yeah, the biggest thing with Rask is the monk he chose happens to be a really bad monk, and it's trying to work around the rules to make his character more efficient. Because the higher level we get, the more he's going to fall off. And I think Kyle is already aware of it because now he goes down like no one's business because everything's gotten stronger and he punches the same amount he's always, but his damage has not increased
That's true.
since he
Well,
got his punching
His
daggers.
damage is great.
No, his damage does increase because on his levels ups.
Well, but we're talking a D4 and a D6 into a D8. That's
Right.
2 extra damage. That's maybe 6 extra damage. Whereas Tyrell just got nuclear explosion. So I mean, yeah, there's a fall off here.
But you keep getting more key points too, where it's like, I
That's
can
true.
do flurry of blows every turn.
Right, he just wants to fly.
That's the problem. He's kind of in between. But what did he take a feat? He took a magic initiative or something to get spells.
Yeah, he did. He
See,
did.
there you go. That's not min max.
No.
He's not set up for that.
No. He's
It's
definitely
just
not a
because
min-max.
Rask wants to learn. He's
Well,
fascinated with it.
Right. But
That's just because Kyle is
Yeah.
fascinated.
yeah. And the story supports it. He's around magic
Yeah.
all the time.
He's mesmerized by it.
His character has an inherent type of magic. Technically, it's like
He's a god magic.
It's like, remember when I was playing Duo and I was like, man, I really want to do what they did.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to do it. So instead of fly, that one of our party members knew, I was like, telekinesis. Look what I can do, guys. It's terrible. It was terrible. I can move like 2 feet.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. And then like lose concentration, fall to your death.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's like, it's for fun. Because I, as a player, I was like, telekinesis sounds really good. And it's not. It's just not. If you get high enough level and you grab that warlock feat where you can telekinesis at
Is it
will,
telekinesis or levitate?
you can levitate at will, but there's a point where you can get I think you
You
can
had
get
that,
telekinesis.
right? When y'all fought the Wendigos, you
Yeah, I
were just
had
like you were
levitate.
just levitating,
He was
like
levitating.
barely
Yeah, I
out of
had
their reach
levitate.
for a long time.
Yeah, but
or
he's a
something.
wizard. He got it. But yeah, eventually a warlock can grab it evocation where they can just at will always be levitating.
Yeah.
I look into all that warlock stuff because now that they have the feat for it, it's like it opens the doors to everybody, and that's honestly a great feeling when you want to do something unique for your class. That's what I think feats are really supposed to be for, is to make your character, give your character some flair,
Yeah.
or cover a weakness, something like that.
Yeah.
The next edition's just about to come out, and they're gonna have all
Is
these. Like in the next month or two.
Yeah.
What are they calling it 6th edition?
I don't know. I still don't know.
Or is it 1 D&D?
No, it's definitely not 1D&D anymore.
And it's definitely
And I don't think they were calling it 5.5. I don't know
think
what it's called.
Is next
It's just called D&D.
is next campaign going to be
Next
new
campaign
edition?
might. I don't know. We might as well
We'll
try
learn it.
Pathfinder too.
We can make a
We'll see.
decision between that or Pathfinder 2nd Edition because I really like Pathfinder 2nd
We'll
Edition.
see how the new
it
edition
looks
looks.
super good. It's a lot of choices, but y'all been playing D&D long enough that I will not.
Is that new too? Pathfinder
Not
It,
now.
2nd
like
edition?
2 years, I think. I think it came out 2 years
I've
ago.
never
like
looked
older
into
than that.
Pathfinder at all.
Yeah. It has a lot of options, and you can do a whole lot
You
of
know enough
smart
about Dungeons
customization.
and Dragons that it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to
when
change
they
the name
say
of the podcast.
yeah, when
With the commoners. The
The common Pathfinder.
yeah, the common Pathfinder. Hey, that's a nice ring. To
I
it.
got a Thren question. If given the opportunity, does Thren want to not be a vampire
I have
anymore?
wondered that as well.
Oh, not be a
Would he want to like
Velf?
seek a
I
reversal?
feel like this is a Thren wants one thing, Tyrell wants another thing.
I don't know that Thren enjoys it, but he might be starting to like learn. This is
That's something I actually want to
this.
bring up in the thing actually at some point when the time is right. Is, yeah,
I
this
mean,
is something I was
what-
actually thinking about this when I drive up.
What benefits does it give you? You already didn't have to sleep, but now you don't have to breathe.
And
You don't have
now
to
your
breathe.
lifespan's a little shorter.
It wasn't shorter. Just people might want to kill you more now.
can walk on walls.
Walk on walls.
He has the communication thing.
You can
He's
bite
just not
people.
using it because of the
I
ring.
can bite people. Yeah.
Do you regain health from that?
Yes, it's just a small amount. It's only like a D4.
Okay, well, still that's pretty cool. Would he want to like? Is that a story arc that potentially happens? Is Thren trying to reverse his vampirism?
I don't
Or
know.
does he just learn to live with it?
I think right now he's just trying to learn to survive this current thing
That's-
that we're in.
Yeah,
Would he
that's my
think there was a
question.
way to reverse it?
That's what I was going to say. Was he even going
I
to
don't know.
explore the
Are you
canon?
still tired of Thren? Coming back to him now after the little break.
I like the
There's
wizard.
no
I like
way.
the class. I mean, it's just the characters.
Thren is the
Is what it is.
best combatant we have besides Gillard, I think.
I don't know about that anymore.
Gillard
Dexter's up there like immediately.
Dexter's great, but he's kind of like a utility. I mean, he does damage.
He
too.
wanted to be utility.
But
That's
he's
what
kinda
he
utility.
came in doing.
And he
And
brought it, yeah.
Gillard-
I like my approach to it.
When
you didn't do
Gillard-
anything.
When Gillard's hitting, it's fascinating.
And when I'm not hitting, it is the saddest.
Miss.
day.
But Thren, some of those
That's four
higher
misses.
level, some of that
Insert.
wizard stuff, that steel wind strike and
Steel
stuff
wind
like
strike's
that, you've been doing so much damage.
Still Wind Strike and Summon Fiendish Spirit. Both of
How
those
do you
spells.
get Steel Wind Strike? Is
The
that
ranger.
It's a wizard spell now.
It is a wizard spell. It was a ranger spell exclusively.
In Tosh's Cauldron of Everything, they
Oh.
added it as a wizard
Oh,
spell.
I thought that was just a green
it
flame
wasn't
blade.
one night. It was just a
Wizards of the
ranger
Coast has
spell.
favoritism.
Or blade singer, I mean.
Yeah, I know, for real.
That was a ranger. So you never used to see that spell ever
No.
because it was a ranger only, and you had to be like an 18th level ranger
Yeah.
to cast the thing.
Yeah, you have to be-
Yeah.
So
it's
no
a
one
5th
saw
level
it.
spell.
It's like seeing
Oh, that
the-
sucks for 18th level.
Right.
Like, it's really cool for, like, 12th.
Yeah, it's like seeing the mystical 5th level paladin spell. You don't.
Still Wind Strike is a blade singer spell. Like that is a thing that I would imagine seeing a wizard that is a blade singer
I
using
agree.
it.
I mean, is it exclusive to Blade Singer, or
No.
is it?
It's just a
that's,
wizard
That's
spell.
what blows my mind is that it's not. I could see Blade Singer saying this is a spell you get, but I couldn't see a wizard being like imagine Gandalf whipping out Glamdring and just
Anime
oh
teleport.
yeah.
All of a sudden turning into a sword fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it shouldn't just be a
The
wizard.
most he's
spell.
ever done is block an attack and then knock down a bridge. But now he's cutting down dudes at lightning speed.
Like a ninja.
It's like back in my young days.
I think Gandalf the White uses a sword a bit.
Well,
Yeah, he does,
he
but- He
he
fights,
definitely does in the
yeah.
video games.
But it's
he
not,
fights orcs. I mean,
It's
well,
not-
yeah.
not like that spell though. That spell's like
Yeah.
you're here, you teleport here, slash, teleport over here, slash,
Yeah,
teleport
that's
here,
not really
slash.
on brand for Gandalf. I
If
don't
anybody used that in Lord of the Rings, it would be Legolas. And even then, I feel like he would just pull out his bow until he runs out of arrows.
But I think it's funny how our minds are like we base our perception of every class off of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Just naturally,
That's-
though.
that's like
a wizard
what-
is an old gray-haired man. A ranger is an elven guy that wears green clothes.
That is something that I like doing.
Well, that's funny
for
because
characters.
Aragorn's actually the ranger.
Yeah.
That's
Strider,
funny,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
we think he's Legolas.
Yeah.
What is Legolas?
An archer,
Or-
an elf. And Legolas more
He's an
embodies-
elf. He's
he
just an elf.
He just embodies what
He
it is
uses
to be an elf.
two-handed weapon fighting,
I
and
mean,
he uses bows.
But he
He's
has
just an
he
elf.
has tracking spell or tracking
What's your
abilities.
elf I see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's
Does he?
a ranger.
Well, yeah, he can track. But that's
Legolas
because
is just a fighter, bro. He's
that's
just
because
a fighter.
Legolas is from Mirkwood, though.
Yeah.
He's
a wood elf.
You're not gonna see Aaron. The ones from Rivendell. You're not gonna see a Rivendell elf track nobody
So
down.
it's- oh,
Maybe
okay.
maybe like okay, but not like Aragorn.
So
or
Legolas is just a
He's a
high
fighter.
dexterity
wood
fighter.
Elf. He's a wood elf.
He's a wood elf fighter. What?
He's just a
Tyrell?
fighter.
He's also a Noldor elf from the books, anyway.
What does that mean?
Like they're from the way back, like toward the beginning of time.
Yeah, because the Mirkwood elves were the first elves to come to Middle Earth, right?
Well, it's just him and his dad in particular, though.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And his would have been
Dad's
mom.
a butthole.
Gimli is a barbarian, right?
I mean, I think he's a fighter too.
Yeah, I would say he's.
He's
The
barbarian adjacent.
The
I
barbarian
can say
rage just isn't a thing in Lord of
Right.
the Rings. That's where you lose that. Yeah, he fights the same way. A barbarian without rage is just a fighter.
That's true.
So
I think you could call him a barbarian. He does kind of have that like.
I mean, yeah, he's reckless. So I agree. Yeah, he's a fighter who uses reckless attack.
Like when Legolas or when Aragorn throws him on that
Toss me.
bridge, and he's got 2 axes. Like he's not blocking any attacks. So yeah, I could call him. He's a dual wielding barbarian.
One of the things I like doing with my characters in particular is like trying to just break the stereotypical kind of build for them, like with Thren being a wizard, not some old dude just casting spells.
Yeah.
Or like,
Dude, for my character, I like to imagine if this is how I grew up, this is who I would be. If I was in D&D, I was a paladin. This is the paladin I would be. If I was a lunatic with a glaive and no
If I was
hair,
evil. I'd be very evil.
Oh yeah, dude. I love anti-heroes. I would love I've made a Dark Knight class that was so where a paladin is sort of a fighter and a cleric, kind of mashed into a class. I've taken basically a fighter and a warlock to make the equivalent so basically shifting from paladin to the darker side and made a Dark Knight, and it was really cool. I used Final Fantasy, it's like skills to use for the naming convention, so that's in line with like the naming scheme Final Fantasy used. So like the darkness, where you have like a pool of points that causes pain instead of healing, like a paladin does. Basically, they're an inverse paladin without calling them an whatever the heck.
Dark paladin.
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it'd be cool. The problem is I think it's too combat focused, so it makes it too powerful. So it's probably not a balanced class. So I never want to use it for anything until I've taken some time to go over it again. Because if you look, like, every class has stuff that you're like, useless.
All this is useful.
Because those aren't combat things. Those are
Yeah.
just things they do.
Like-
all the classes have non-combat crap.
most of the other extra totem barbarian subclass stuff.
Yes.
It's
Only the bear
useless.
one's any good.
Yes. But man, is the bear one good?
Well, there's some other one. There's some in other books, aren't there? I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
That's what
but
I'm
they
saying,
just add like some
They're not great.
distance to
Like-
running. They
Yeah.
Like
faster,
see,
jump farther.
Like the elk is like 10 feet extra movement speed or something like that, and then like it has like some other side passive thing where like when you're traveling with your party, it gives you like some extra faster.
Bear totem is
speed
resistant
thing.
to everything, right?
except
Yes.
psychic.
Except psychic. Yeah.
Except for
So it's like
now.
you can resist all damage, or you can run 10 feet fast.
Now though with the
What
wild
kind of choice is that?
with
I
the
want to run faster.
with the wild heart barbarian, whenever that comes out, they're going to make it where you can only choose 2 particular things that you're resistant to.
Oh yeah, they nerfed the crap out of barbarian.
you can't have everything. It's just
That's
2
fine.
things.
Bear totem is stupid.
But the cool thing is about
Wait,
it.
is it 2 things plus bludgeoning, piercing, slashing?
Probably. Surely.
2
when
things
you're
plus what?
raging.
Is it 2 things period
Addition-
or 2 things
yeah.
plus
added to
bludgeoning,
the other
piercing,
3.
slashing?
I think it's just 2 things.
Oh, that's
period.
nice.
It's like,
Like-
bludgeoning and piercing. Oh, he uses slashing. I'm sorry.
Well,
That's a sword in his hand.
Is that only when you're raging, though?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
It's bad though. That's bad.
Whenever you level up to like at 3rd level or 6th level, they no longer have like if you're a bear totem. If you chose bear totem at 3rd level, it'll be like I forgot what the other animals are. It's like eagle something
You can
else.
swap the totems, can't you?
Right, you
like-
can, and when you level up, yes.
Right.
But the thing is like when you get to
Oh,
that level,
that's-
it's not even the same animals anymore. So like they're deliberately doing that so you pretty much have to.
You
switch.
can only do it when you level up. You should all be
Yeah.
able to do that on
I
a
hate-
long rest.
I hate that.
Kind of like the shrines
able to do
in
that, yeah.
Skyrim,
Yeah.
activating different shrines.
When
same
You don't
type
have a
of thing.
necklace with all your totems, and you just
Yeah.
focus on that
Say,
totem.
do, like
for the
do a
day or
ritual
something.
or say a prayer or something with a different totem.
Changing at a level up is the creators not wanting to let people change, but knowing that people need to be able to change. Changing at a long rest should be fine as long as you as a DM manage it properly. They need to make that the responsibility of the DMs and not the way that the game is played.
I mean, clerics do it. Druids do it.
I know, that's
You
what I'm saying.
know,
It's like wizards can almost do it. I mean, they can.
Sorcerers can
realistically,
do it.
If you're a DM that is nice to your wizard, they have every spell. Every spell they ever. I'm looking for fly. Oh, sorry, all out of flies. No flies coming in anytime.
Well, you never do that. You just make it too expensive.
Well, that's definitely what they should do with that totem. It's like, okay, we're out. We made it to this lake, and we know that there's a cave down there. I need to breathe underwater. Well, tomorrow I'll be a fish totem.
They did do that with the freaking Path of the Beast Barbarian. Like, whenever you get to, like, 6th level, you get to choose between being able to jump really high, swim, or be able to climb on walls.
And you can change
it out on a long rest.
Right.
But for whatever reason, from what I saw of the Wild Heart, and they may change it. They may change it before the book comes out.
Probably will.
But, like, it was only on level up when I saw it. So.
It's so punishing to a player that's newer or new to the class that doesn't understand and makes a bad decision. And
I would be able to swim so much, and we're playing in a desert.
Yeah. God forbid you're not level like 7, and your next level up is a year from now. Oh, okay. Too bad. This sucks. I mean, it's like it just real feels bad. Like, just make it a level, make it a long rest. That way, a player's not committed to it, and then you as a DM need to manage it. If you're changing for the 4th time, I need to know why.
Yeah.
In a week, like, this is ridiculous. Like, is this something that you planned on doing all along? Because then you're breaking. You just. Like I said, I make it the DM's responsibility. That way, a player doesn't use it to break the game. But at the same time, as long as there's a reason behind it, there's no reason to.
And if you're going to let them change it all the time, make them all good enough to change too. Mm-hmm. So that, like, I made the wrong decision today. Like, I should have had this.
Like all those dang wizard spells.
Yeah, most of the time you're gonna cycle. You're gonna cycle until you find the one that this is the one. I'm never changing it.
Yeah, this is the busted one. Yeah. It's like, and if we ever go on a boat, then I'll get that water one that I don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's another thing. If it's in any way water themed, and you're landlocked, and you're in a landlocked continent in a landlocked state, well, boy, I think I took the wrong class, you guys. I'm a sea sorcerer. Oh, the wind in the sails. You know what I'm saying?
I played it in a campaign with some guys that I played a Triton in, and. Like, for the most part, it was landlocked for the most part. But, like, there was one particular dungeon that we went into that was a castle, but it was flooded. So I ended up fighting a bunch of Sahuagin and sharks underwater, which was really nice, being able to swim and actually have a swimming speed and breathe underwater.
Right.
Using a trident, which was really cool. Or trident.
You just need a potion of water breathing.
Yeah.
And a potion of growth.
Well, trident.
And then drown them.
Using a trident, you actually get
ring of water walking.
When you throw it underwater, you actually get like throwing speed and stuff with it.
I've seen some wild stuff with that spell in like anime and stuff. Like, they'll be fighting like some kind of aquatic monster, and they'll be like, "Give water walking to the fish," and then it suffocates above the water because it's like. It's like this giant legendary fish creature, and it's
I used my action to give a fish a potion.
Yeah, well, no, they had the water walking spell, and they just like bink, and it may as well hit concrete and just
flop around and die.
Yeah, that's legendary creature.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh man, I mean, if there was a water walking spell, and your enemy was some kind of like swimmer, and they're about to jump in the water from a big height, and you like water walking, would it be like hitting concrete? I mean, like, what happens? It's wild.
We already talked a little bit about it on the console, but anybody playing anything? First of all,
I'm playing Hitman again.
What, Ty?
Elden Ring 2.
Yeah, give us the Elden Ring DLC rundown.
Elden Ring 2.
Elden Ring 2.
Give it
point 2.
Elden Ring
Dark Souls 2.
1.5.
You just mean the DLC?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, give us a quick rundown, Ty.
Is it difficult?
It is very difficult. It is way more difficult than the base game, by far. Which I expected that, because every single DLC that FromSoft has ever released has always been harder.
Right.
But, very well worth the wait, I thought. They packed a crap ton of content into a small space. It is like 3 layers deep. They said it was going to be about the size of Limgrave, which is about that starting area you walk out into, which is fairly small. But when you look at the map after you get it all unlocked, it is huge and it's deep. Like, it's really, really deep. Right. The bosses are all very different from each other as far as that goes. They're all really fast. I felt like I was playing like Bloodborne or something again, because they're like, from the base game, when you play the base game, it's like the bosses are slow on their wind-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas when you start playing the DLC, it's like every single one of them are like Bloodborne bosses, and they're like right on top of you the entire time, not giving you a space to heal.
Don't like it.
There's a lot of different varying environments in the DLC. A lot of revealing story elements that, like, all this time I thought that America was pretty evil. Turns out that DLC makes you feel bad for her. Because of the
Is
story.
she the decay one or the blood one?
She's the main deity over the whole thing. She was she was the one that broke the Elden Ring in the first place.
Oh, okay. I thought there was one of them that gods where they were the one that you fight one of their avatars or something for either the blood weapon or the decay weapon. I can't remember which one it was.
What's the rainbow that you fight at the end of the game?
Oh, the Elden Beast. That's so it turns out, like, in the DLC it reveals that, like, she made a deal with this being they call the Greater Will, which is basically this outer god being, and all of its, like, smaller intercessors are like the two fingers, which are those two finger things that you run into throughout the game in different areas. But when she made that deal with them, she was in the Land of Shadow. The reason she made the deal with him or them was because the people that she was a part of, they called themselves the shamans, were slaughtered by these other people called the Horn Scent, which are like these people that just live in the Land of Shadow anyway. They took them, all of the shamans, and all those jar people that you see out throughout the game, it turns out all those people are those shamans cut up into little pieces and turned into those jar people.
Wow.
They forced them into it because, like, apparently for whatever reason in the lore of the game is like the shaman's flesh is more malleable than other people's, so they like force them together with other people.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it is.
You can just go in that other room, Seth. You don't have to go outside. Oh, okay.
Anyway,
would you recommend it?
Oh yeah,
to AJ.
Yes, but yeah, no, he's not gonna play it.
No, I ain't gonna play Elden Ring. I was gonna say, I just got a Switch. So what games do I need to play?
Yeah,
me and Brandon were gonna get one. We're talking about getting one. We were like, yeah, that'll be like our wedding present to ourselves. We never got one, and then the other day somebody at her work was selling one for $180. So
Nice.
only catch was it's the Animal Crossing edition. So
Animal Crossing's a great game.
well, I refaced it with some fake that stuff that's on
it's
the
good.
countertop.
Tile.
It's very fancy.
Yeah,
It's good.
I was like, I'm sick of looking at those little animals on it.
Yeah, I know. I have one
Y'all
of those.
play Animal Crossing?
It's on there. I've never played.
Play it. It's a fun game.
It
Animal
actually is
Crossing's
a good
fun.
game. I actually was just looking at a Reddit post when I was walking in the door, and it was supposed to be like a boyfriend who plays video games, and he hands his controller to his girlfriend for a second, and he comes back, and then one of the top comments was, he came back, he's like, how do you have a 6 KDA? She's like, I guess I'm just better than you. He's like, you're playing Animal Crossing.
Well, all we've played so far is Mario Kart. That brings me to another question. Okay, they don't have much storage on them, but you can put an SD card in there.
Yeah.
And then you offload games to it.
Yeah, that's why I have a card in mine, and I put most of my stuff on there.
And then can you play stuff off of the SD card?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to put a large capacity SD card in there.
Yeah.
Do you like turn-based games?
Depends.
I love
Not
'em.
really.
I love them.
Try give I'm blanking so bad.
I'm assuming, yeah, I'm forgetting too. But
Radiant Dawn,
yeah, that's the game.
not Kingdom Hearts. Oh my Lanta. It's called Three Houses.
It's a turn-based JRPG, and it's on
Oh my
Nintendo.
lord.
It's really good. I'm forgetting the name too. I don't actually play it. I play
Fire
Final
Emblem.
Fantasy. Fire Emblem is the
There
game.
we
I
go.
saw that.
Yeah.
Can you? There's like a whole database of old like Game Boy games in there. Are those free?
If you have Nintendo Online,
You have to have their Nintendo Online. How much is that a month?
If
$20 a
Emblem-
year.
If Fire
Only a
Emblem
year?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
How much?
$20 for a year.
I'm
Because
gonna
they
be-
don't. It's because they don't give you
Is
anything.
Pokemon on there?
No.
Oh, I was like, I'm
You
gonna
have
play
to.
Pokemon
You have
Blue.
to buy those.
Oh, okay.
Like full out. Like yeah, I think the oldest one you can get is maybe Fire Red and Leaf Green, or maybe.
well,
Ruby
I
and
mean, there was some
Sapphire.
games on there. Like I used to play Wario Land and Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
The games in there that are free are like you're talking like super old, like Super Tennis, and I think there's a
There's Game Boy Advance games on it.
What's it? There's a game where you're a caveman and you run around as a 2D side scroller. It's like one of the
AJ
old-
loves side scrollers.
No, I do not.
2D's not good enough though. He wants 8-bit.
I tried to get into play Terraria.
Oh, Terraria.
How long did I play Terraria?
About what, 15 minutes?
I don't think it
maybe.
was that
I don't
long,
even think it
Ty.
was
Was it the
long.
music? It was the music, wasn't it?
There was
I
one
like the
night.
music.
Terraria is
I don't
so
know
much
what the
harder
heck
than
we were doing.
Minecraft.
We were at my house. It was me, Malachi, and Tyrell. And Ty somehow convinced me to get Terraria on my PlayStation.
Hey.
It's about an 800 megabyte download. I download it.
it's
I
great.
played it for 2 lives and deleted the game faster than I've ever deleted anything.
Yeah, I beat the World Eater one time.
It's
and I
it's
don't-
even more than when we played it in college. It's way
Terraria?
more. Like you can get your world corrupted with like evil, with like darkness, and then with some kind of light thing where there's unicorns and ponies, and then you can fight back one side and have
That's
an
cool.
entire world of darkness or an entire world of good, or just kill it all. You just have a normal world again.
I-
It's crazy.
Cannot. There's something about if you can get into a side scroller, I'm all for it. That's great for you.
Mega Man?
I can't even get interested.
Side scrollers tend to represent some of the hardest content in gaming.
Try
we
Fire
have
Emblem
now.
game though.
Right?
I mean, it's
turn-based.
Dungeons and Dragons kind of.
Is
thing.
it side scroller or
No,
is
no,
it
no,
like
no.
top down
It's
like
a-
Pokemon?
Is it turn-based or is it tactical with the map, with the grid? I can't remember.
It's tactical with a map. Grid.
So there'll be a little your maps or grids, and
like
you
a
move the
D&D map.
character, and then you have like a range of attacks. Sometimes if it's melee, you can only hit one square, but then if you have like range or casters, they can hit a whole bunch of squares away, and you start shooting crap at them, and then everyone takes their turn.
not Radiant Dawn.
Interesting.
Radiant Dawn's the second one.
Houses. See, I'm a Final Fantasy Tactics person. I like my Tactics Ogre and and Tactics Advance, all that stuff.
If it's on the old games though, there was a GameCube one called. Was it Radiant Dawn? I feel like
There's one that's selling mana and it has mana in it, doesn't there? Fire Emblem, something of mana. I don't know.
I'll look and see if the game's on there. That's the one you should play. But Three Houses is one of their newest ones, and it's pretty good. It's got
The Switch, I was thinking about it, it's kind of like ingenious. Like the way the controller's set up where you just like you can use it as a whole controller, you can take it apart and you can play 2 people on with
the
one
Switch
controller.
is a console that wasn't designed for us. It was designed for the culture around Japan. They're very mobile, and they have a lot of public transit. So the Switch was a console that was definitely designed for Japan as a country. It's a perfect one. That I don't like it because the portability reduces its power and efficiency. You can't play good games on there. They all
Well,
look like,
true.
They all look like crap compared to your PS5. Like
Yeah,
they look like crap.
but that's not the point of it, though.
No, it's not.
Nintendo has never been the best graphics. It's never like they've always just been the different one. Like the Wii,
the family friendly.
yeah. You can't tell me that the Xbox 360 Connect or whatever it was that had the motion stuff. You
Yeah.
can't tell me that was as good as a Wii.
No, it wasn't.
And the PlayStation Move, same thing. So it's like,
PlayStation Move is the worst of the 3 in my opinion.
yeah, it's terrible. Well, they've got okay. First of all, it's portable where you can play it without plugging it into anything. It's got its own power. Then all you got to do is throw it in the thing and pull up on the TV. So you can play it portably or to your TV. Then you can play it the same controller with 1 people or 2. And the controller has full function even when you take it apart. It's not missing anything.
Yeah.
Even like you can play Mario Kart 2 people with the
turn
one
controls
controller, and you can steer it like a Wii remote. I didn't realize that until I was like, why am I drifting to the left all the time? I'm like, oh, can I turn with the remote? It blew my mind. I couldn't believe it.
Let me tell you something.
There's a lot going on.
If you turn,
There's
if
a
you're,
lot going on.
If you're serious about Mario Kart, you turn that crap off right now.
I like to steer it with the remote, but I just don't even use the joystick. I just steer it with the remote. I can play with one hand.
Not if you're serious. Not if you're playing good people.
Listen, there's not many people better than me at Wii Mario Kart. There's no way. I'm not great at this one yet,
Yeah.
but I haven't
Talking
played
about
online either.
Yeah.
We're just playing each other and playing against the computer. But I think it's pretty cool. Just
I
everything
see shorts
packed
of
into
people doing things with Mario Kart, and it's insane. Like they'll go to last place on purpose to get the best power ups, and then they know all these like
All the
bullet
little
bill
shortcuts.
shortcut.
They'll just drive off the map
There's
and
a-
land down there somewhere.
Yes,
There's
there-
a
it's
map
insane.
called Cheese Land, and it's themed around cheese. Well, it's a double meaning because you know how you cheese content in a video game. People will fall back, grab the quadruple mushroom, and they can go from last place to first place in 1 lap. Because there's these there's these jumps, these skips where you skip so much of the map that it will take you from last to first with 4 mushrooms.
If you have those mushrooms.
Yeah. You just know, we just got to know when to use them and what to use them on, and you will come out the winner. You can come in last on the 3rd lap, have those 4 mushrooms ready, come in first. Cheese the whole course. it's Mario Kart's wild when you learn about the really top tier stuff. There's a newer map because they released a map pack a couple years ago, and they're finally done with it. So all the characters and all the maps are there now. You're not going to get any more unless they make a new Mario Kart for Mario Kart 8. And there's a map where if you're really good, you can get up on top and skip like a giant curve. Because I was with one of my students who's one of my better Mario Kart players, and she was watching the ghost of the top time in the world, and that's what he did. There was this point where you're like going down the mountain, and as you're going down the mountain, there's these little slopes, and you can jump them and get a speed boost. Well, if you hit it at the right angle going fast enough, you can jump up on top of the map, skip that corner, and that's why he's number 1. That like 3 or 4 seconds he shaved off his time, beat everybody else.
Yeah.
And he did it every single time on that lap. So he had a great time. It was impressive. And then she tried it. It is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah. I've played a lot more probably Crash Team Racing than Mario Kart. I played Mario Kart Wii a lot, but Crash Team we played on PlayStation. Me and my sister, my whole family played it when I was little all the time. And then they came out with the new one, and it's got it's the old game remastered basically.
Right.
And like I know where a lot of the shortcuts are. But I can't hit them every time.
Right.
You play online against people, and I think some of them are hackers, but a lot of them are actually doing it, and they're jumping out of the map where I don't even know where they're going. I'm like, it's so hard to get the timing right just to, run the track normal, and they're hitting all these shortcuts every time. I never have been able to do that. They have Mario Kart in esports now, though?
We have a Mario Kart team, Smash Bros team. We had a Hearthstone team, but I just lost to a senior who was kind of the spearhead for that, so I probably won't have Hearthstone next year. We can have League of Legends, we can have Rocket League, we can have 2K, we can have Madden, and chess this year, Seth. We'll get your help.
Esports
they
chess?
added chess. Chess.com. Play on chess.com. They added chess this year.
Interesting.
It's teams of 3. Best 2 out of 3 wins.
Well, does the school already have a chess team?
We will not.
We are going to be so dominant at chess.
I just happen to know that my librarian who just left the school and she went to work somewhere else bought one of those large chess mats with the big chess pieces. I'm going to be reallocating those to the esports room.
There you go.
And I'm gonna have to learn how to be better at chess. So I'll be sending Seth some chess.com matches. I guess have to get better. I need to at least get.
I deleted it.
Somebody I need. Speaking of chess, I don't play very much because I get so frustrated because I don't know how to open. And I've been meaning to talk to somebody what's a good open.
What do you want to do?
Pawn to
E5.
I don't. First of all, I don't know how to checkmate.
Here's the truth about chess. Okay, if you want to be good at chess, you need to learn one opening as white and never play anything else. And then you have to learn a bunch
every
of black.
counterplay.
Yeah, learn everything. So if someone plays that against you, you're comfortable. But then there's a lot more you have to learn as black. So you need to memorize one opening to white and play nothing but that. And know, like, okay, if they move this here, then I'm supposed to go with this piece over that way. That's why I've given it up pretty much because it's not. There is, like they say, Magnus Carlsen, who's the greatest chess player probably in the history of chess. He says that he's really not very good at the memorization part. That just can't be true. He can remember. He's got to be autistic. A very high functioning autistic because he can remember 50 moves of 15 to 20 to 30 to 100 different openings and know that this is the correct pop. Like it's memorization. The better at memorization you are, the better at chess you'll be.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And then you also have to just have a feel of, okay, how do I capitalize after we get to a new place where he's messed up, I've messed up. How do I capitalize?
I've known that's what it is, and like chess.com has like the little daily.
Learn to London.
They have the daily challenges where you can like, okay, how do you get out of? It's like a puzzle. Like, how do you get out of this jam? Yeah. And sometimes I'll do it until I do it, but I'm like, I have no idea why that worked. And if I'm in a game, I'm not going to think, oh, I need to do that thing I did on that daily challenge.
No, you do need to do those challenges. Like, I got up to about 2,000, 2,200 on those on the. But that is where your mind starts finding tactics. Like, oh, my knight is 2 moves away from forking these 2 pieces.
I don't even know what that means.
I mean, a knight move is where like you hit a queen and something else, so that like they can't take it. Like, it's not a true fork if they can just take your piece.
Right.
But like, you are free to, like, I'm hitting your queen and I'm hitting your rook. You're gonna move your queen, so I get your rook because a rook is worth
one
more.
or the other.
Yes.
Whichever one you move, I'm taking the other.
A royal fork is where you're checking a king and you're getting
The
a
queen.
or a rook or
That's
something.
an ideal one. Have you seen the I guess you said you stopped playing. There's one called a tactical nuke, where you send your queen in and sacrifice her basically, or you sacrifice something crazy, and it ends up you not only getting their queen, but then also putting them in a really.
Man. There is so many gambits. There's so many
Yeah.
openings. It's insane.
Do you move the horses out first?
It depends on what you're doing.
Okay, so any person who teaches you how to play chess, if they're going to tell you not to do an opening, they're going to try to teach you how to have chess awareness. And yes, you're going to move 1 pawn out, and usually you're going to follow by the knight that
What
defends
pawn?
that pawn. Either the
E5?
E4 or
I thought E5 was the biggest white opener.
E5 or
Yeah.
D5.
Yeah.
The pawn in front of your king is the most common, or the pawn in front of your queen is the most common.
The biggest problem I have is getting pieces out.
Well,
Because
that's
Developing your board
developing
is
your
a
pieces.
skill.
So you move a pawn out. So let's say you're moving your E5 pawn. You're going to move your queenside knight to defend that pawn. So
You gotta
there's something
defend the
to-
pawns.
Defend your pawns. Yes,
Because-
pawns are your most important pieces. Actually, you cannot be giving
I've
away your
noticed
pawns.
that, yeah.
You can't give away your pawns. So you move out your. I wish we had a chessboard. We move out your knight, and they move something else. You're pulling out your other knight, and by moving your E5 pawn, you've already opened up your bishop, your kingside bishop, so you can move it to a safe spot. And then you're going to defend your pawn again with the second pawn, and that opens up your next bishop. So you're always trying to, like, you want to get your knights in the middle. You don't want them on the edges. You want them in the middle because then they have 8 squares that they can go to.
Yeah.
You want your bishops to have the longest line of attacks that they can. And then after you've moved your knights and your bishops out, then you are going to try to castle. Get your king to one of the corners. You can either short castle or long castle. If you've moved your knight and your bishop on your king side, short castling is faster because it's just one move. So then your rooks, the only thing that are separating your rooks is your queen. So you just put your queen 1 or 2 spaces to defend some other pieces, and then your rooks are touching. And then you are no longer in your opening. You are in a middle game, and you're trying to take the pieces.
I will keep all of that in mind. I mean, I didn't know. See, I try to do something different every time. Like, well, that didn't work, so let me try this. But I noticed that people, like, when you're playing on chess.com,
Always play to the
people
center
are so
of a
fast because they
chessboard.
do the same thing every
Right,
time.
they're playing the same thing.
And I'm like, I don't know how to.
See,
like,
I liked the London. Did I get away from the London when I finally quit? I don't remember. But that's a queen pawn move, and I start off with my my queen pawn, and then I'm moving my bishop immediately, and then I'm moving a knight out, and then I'm building a triangular shape with my pawns, and
Okay.
and then I'm trying to,
So until you get out of your opening, you're not worried about what the other person's doing, really.
unless they're just clearly making mistakes.
Or if they're doing a gambit that's risky to your play style. That's where memorization comes in. If, like, for instance, let's say he does a London. If the London has a critical weakness, he has to make sure he's covering that at all times. He can't let it slip in. Because there's a lot of people, they'll tell you how to win chess in 3 moves. They're like, this is the most popular opening right now. When they do it, just destroy their side of the board real quick with a missile. And it's like, don't let that happen.
Yeah.
And then otherwise play your game.
Computers have made chess so crazy because, and it is cool, but you have to be genius level to memorize enough to do this. You don't, but if you want to be good, like, I'll never probably get to 1800, which I would love to get to 1800. I've gotten to 1200. That's the highest, and then it's just too stressful. It's too much memorization. Like, you need to make it a job. But what's crazy is I've heard like Levi Rosman, Gotham Chess. He was telling a YouTube guy who's not good. He's like, 1200 is not good. I'm not good. Whoops, sorry.
You're good.
1800.
You're good.
I heard a chess master said you are not, like, every human should be capable of getting to 1800, and that's insane to me. He's like, you're not even a human until you get to 1800.
I think I'm like 4.
I think you've told me that.
and So what you're doing, trying different things all the time, that's hurting you.
Yeah.
Because you're not learning from your mistakes.
Yeah, I know.
Don't start talking to me about chess.
I just don't. I don't know that I want to. Like, yeah, I know. I know you have to really be invested to get good at it. So I just don't. I don't want to really.
It's really hard to.
I'd just like to be able to sit down and be like, yeah, let's have a competitive game of chess.
Yeah. That's what's fun. I'm at that level kind of that I can beat most people.
Oh yeah, you would probably destroy me in like 2 seconds.
Not 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
He's got to develop his pieces first.
Now, like I
5
know a
minutes.
lot more about chess than Dustin, but he has beat me plenty of times. Like
Not as
Weston
much
has
here
beat
lately.
me a lot. Like sometimes you can get cocky or something, but like you can forget stuff. I went to a men's retreat with our church, and I sat down with this one guy, and I was trying to do a certain kind of London opening, and I messed some stuff up and like let his knight fork me pretty bad, but like I was fine. I ended up beating him, but like I had forgotten my move.
Right.
Yeah.
It hurt me really bad.
It's a crazy game.
So like, there's this one guy. He's an IM international master, and he pretty much all his videos is he shows what's the name of it's a variation of the London, but you bring your left side knight out early, and I'm blanking on the name of it, and that's all he plays. He can play other stuff, but he's teaching people. He's like, these like learn this and learn the Caro-Kann defense as black, and just play these two things, and you'll rise and stuff. And he shows different lines and stuff. And I for a while there I had memorized a whole bunch of that. But then also everyone else doing this is probably watching the same videos I am, so they're learning how to counter what I'm trying to learn how to do.
Right.
So there was this one Anna Kremling. Her parents are both GMs, and she's a big chess personality, and she came up with her own opening called the Cow, and like it's a really bad opening to grandmasters. They all laugh at her. Her mom thinks it's ridiculous that she's playing this, but it like this one guy who he used to be a League of Legends streamer. I think he still is, but he like fell in love with chess, and he has rose up to like 1,500 from trash, literal 100 rating.
Doing the Cow.
Doing the Cow, because it's you do the same things. It takes like you're moving so slowly and you're moving so defensively that it takes a long time for black to ever actually get anywhere, and you have ways of defending yourself. And he just by doing the same things, he's learned how to do it. I played the Cow one time. Someone played it against me, and I laughed at him, but it was a tough game because I didn't know how to defeat it. I just like kind of it was funny that they were playing it, but it was a good it was a hard match for me.
Yeah.
And then you play like some people love open games where they're just getting rid of all the pieces and keeping the board wide open, and then you'll get used to that, and then someone will you'll think that they're going to take your pawn, and instead they move forward and just shut the whole thing down to where you can't take my pawn, I can't take your pawn. Everything's just in the way now.
Yeah, that's when
And
I hate it.
I hate closed chess too.
Yeah.
I want to trade pieces. I want to get to an end game as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Now I want to play chess.
Well, anybody got anything else?
I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 again. I just tried the Valley Garmonda EX trial last night. Spent about an hour and a half. Only made it to phase 1. Only made it through phase 1.
Were you going to record all that or something?
I was just going to record me playing just Final Fantasy games in general. I just haven't had the time.
Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I was just going to bring something up about Helldivers. Okay, that last update that they did where they brought in the new ship module upgrades. I didn't realize this, but when you buy ship module upgrades, it actually changes stuff inside the ship. Like, visibly. You
Yeah.
can actually see
Oh,
certain things.
cosmetics?
Yeah, well...
It adds like stations and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Oh.
yeah.
There's one...
I think your ship actually, like one of them that adds more guns, actually gives your ship more guns.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one of the newest ones in that 4th tier, that when you buy it, the computers that you go to for your ship modules, when you buy them, gets moved back about 15 feet. I didn't know that was a thing. One of my other friends that I play Helldivers with sometimes, he was saying, he's like, why is my computer like so far back? I was like, I don't know, mine's not. And I started looking at like all the different ship modules on there, and I was like, oh. That's what it is. You bought like this particular. I forgot what the name of it was. It was
Right.
like this particular 4th rank on that thing. And it like moves it back like 15 feet.
Freaking ship module that you got that drops support weapons in. I want so bad.
Yeah, the next one I'm working to get is the mortar one. When you mark a target, it prioritizes bombing that target with mortars.
Awesome.
Oh, with the mortar?
Yeah,
You need to
That's
get that
good.
one. You
Yeah.
like your mortars, and you don't
Yeah.
like when they hit you.
I haven't been using them very much. I've been going all Eagles lately.
AJ will call in a mortar, and he's like instantly destroyed.
Yeah, yeah. The support weapon or the whatever those are called, like the automated weapons, are so bad now because they had to have done something to where the enemies prioritize them so bad.
If it's a Bile Titan or or a Charger, either one of those, they go straight for whatever it is.
they'll turn around.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah. As
They'll
soon
be
as they hear
chasing
it,
you,
it's
and your equipment lands over there, and they'll turn around and go that way.
yeah. They prioritize taking it out, but. That new one that looks really good. There's another one of those 4th tier things also gives you like 5% increased range with explosions on like the 380 and
That's
the
super
120.
dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
They made the 3. If you have all your tiers for the 380, it's an extremely risky weapon because there's one that tightens it up or makes it bigger.
It's the spreads tighter, but
Right.
like now the explosions are bigger.
right. Yeah. It's
Man, yeah, that would be crazy on 380.
So, AJ, why are you playing chess? Like, what's gotten you? Who are you playing with? What do you?
I'm not really. I just have. I have the chess app, the chess.com app, and
I'm downloading it. I'll add you and we can play.
Okay, I'll play you because I don't know how to get any better at it, and I'm really bad, and I don't know that I want to get better at it, but
Chess is a fun thing to get better at.
Somebody's-
Like,
I just want to be able to be like
almost 6.
play somebody that doesn't play and destroy them. That's
See,
really
when I was in school, I always thought I was pretty good at chess, and then
black truck.
I played Kyle, and Kyle might have beat me. No, I don't think he did. I don't know if Kyle's ever beat me, but like it was close, and it frustrated me because I was like, I should be better than that. So I started getting into it, and then I crushed. And the next
I
time we
always thought
played-
I could be good at it because when I was in GT, we didn't play chess. We didn't practice. We might play each other every now and then, but we didn't actually do anything. And we went to a chess match one time. I was like, this is going to be embarrassing. And I was 2-2. I beat 2 people.
Yeah.
And I remember at the end of one of the games.
Did you do the Scholars Mate? Every chess tournament I
No.
went to, I would open with the Scholars Mate. That's all I would do.
I didn't know how to do anything. I was just like, okay, let me really think.
Yeah.
Like if I really focus on it and just play defensively, I'll be all right. And I played one because I don't know how to checkmate anybody. And come here, it's Anthony. When there was this one game, I think it was the second one I won. I got down to the end. I had a couple pieces left, and he had just the king, I think. And I'm sitting there scratching my head going, I do not know how I'm going to checkmate him. I'm trying to think 3 moves ahead and
You
can't.
didn't have the pieces to do it easily, like the rooks or.
I don't remember. I feel like I had 3 pieces, or I might have just had 2.
doesn't
I don't
mean
know.
anything.
I mean, if you have a rook and a bishop, it is
Let me-
very hard.
Let me tell you something. It was
Right.
more than enough. I should have been able to do it.
Well, if you have 2 rooks and a queen, if you have pawns, then that's queens. You just run them across.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I may not have had any, but
All you need is one rook and a
or
king.
I may have went
and you
across
can
and got my
checkmate
queen,
someone.
but
Right.
we danced around for a few moves, and he lays his king down and goes, I know you're just toying with me. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, no, we could stalemate because I have no idea how to beat you right now.
Yeah. What? How many moves in the same spot is it? Like
16,
20?
I think.
16?
Well, that's what people.
school rules that are not true.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was at the tournament, but I remember thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this without him running out of moves and it being stalemate. So, but yeah, I'm terrible. What's up, Anthony?
Hey,
Nice haircut.
thanks.
You got anything to tell the people today?
All our wonderful listeners.
Man, I don't know.
Where you been? What have you been doing today?
What have I been doing today? Absolutely not a thing.
Why didn't you get here earlier?
You're late.
My wife's sick, and
Sounds like you've been
Okay.
doing something.
no, just
Taking care of the children,
just making sure he's
the
taking care
child.
of himself. Really,
Yeah.
you know. He's 3, so he's basically
He's
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 self-
pretty self-sufficient.
he's self-governing right now.
He's paying
All
some
you
of
have
the
to do is
bills.
just point him in a direction he goes.
Yeah.
I remember that 16 move rule or something. That's not a real rule in chess, but that was.
I don't know
something
what
we
it
always
was at
taught.
that school
I
tournament.
thought that was a real thing where if you do the same, if you and the both other person do the same thing 20 times in a row, then it's a
Well,
four.
if all your pieces hit the same thing 3 times, That in any match, that's it. That's done.
Well, maybe that's what I'm
Well,
thinking of.
let me tell you something. I've done this on chess.com before. I'll get down to have no pieces left, and I'll just like race them. I'll just like, as soon as it's my turn, I move the king. One move.
Clock.
Yeah, and try to let them run their clock out. You'll win.
Yeah.
With nothing left but your king. It's so unfair. I feel bad doing it, but because I don't deserve to win, it's like, well, you better checkmate me because I'm just going to keep jumping back and
And
forth.
then there is like a 70 move rule. If no pieces have been taken in 70 moves, then you have to.
Well, I don't remember what it was at the school match, but there was a stalemate rule.
See, I don't think anyone knew how to long castle when I was playing chess in school. That was not a thing. I didn't
know
know
what that
about
is
long
now.
castling. That's where you castle on your queen side instead of
Yeah.
your king side. You move your king 2
You mean
spots.
when the king moves with the rook?
you can move? You can do it with either rook.
See, I always thought that was so advanced. Like kids would do that, and people would think, "Oh, he knows how to play." I'm like, I don't even know what is even the rule on that.
Wait till you en passant somebody.
En
No.
passant's a crazy rule.
No, you don't do that, sir. What do you mean I don't? Mm-mm.
I went to a tournament one time, and I kid you not, this kid jumped over pieces with his knight and thought he took them. He took 2 pieces. Yes. Hello?
He got the double jump.
He went from checkers to chess and thought, I found the secret rule.
Oh my gosh.
You just wreck the board with your knight.
Donald Trump got shot at
No, he didn't.
there was a shooting at a Trump rally, and people think that they saw Trump bleeding being led away by his security.
This ain't real. We've
Hot
got the
news from Cynthia.
We've
You
got
heard
the,
it here first a month ago.
We've got the. I was about to say we got the hot scoop.
Oh my god.
Breaking news, shots fired at President Trump
Gunshots
rally in
reportedly
Pennsylvania.
fired. I've only got one. Oh no, there's another one.
15 minutes ago.
Trump escorted off stage during rally after possible shots heard. Okay.
Oh, now it's possible
That's
shots
different.
heard.
We don't even know if shots were fired, let alone if Trump got hit.
Fireworks.
These are all headlines. Shots fired at Donald Trump. Oh, at Donald Trump rally. Trump escorted off stage during rally after possible shots heard. Donald Trump escorted off stage by Secret Service during rally after loud noises. Shots fired.
That must have been CNN.
Shots fired at Donald Trump rally in Pennsylvania. Gunshots reportedly fired at Donald
video's
Trump
not pulling
rally.
up.
I've got no data, so I have
So
to
we're
look up
somewhere
your-
between maybe they heard something,
just
they definitely heard something.
reportedly
Here,
fired
shot
at
was
Donald
fired,
Trump rally.
he was shot.
Yeah.
Here's what we know.
4 choices.
There was noise, and Trump was escorted away. That's what we know.
Noise heard at Trump rallies. Trump escorted.
There's only 2 things consistent: that there was noise and that Trump left.
Possible shots.
You come here. We're on podcast.
We're about to shut this thing down.
You're
so we
on
can set the table up.
podcast.
Hey, Cynthia, did you almost hit that red truck? For sure. This is a truck that pulled in right before she did, and she had to swing around.
It's just not loading,
They
babe.
were turning around in your driveway.
People are always turning around in this driveway. My truck got broke into the other day.
No way.
Well, it wasn't locked, so I guess they didn't break in. But
Was it dude on a?
All right, I'm coming.
No.
it was in the middle of the night, and so I have no idea. But
Was it
the
Florida, man? Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off.
He grabbed the side of his face.
anyway,
Yeah.
the neighbor down the road here, I drove down there because there's so many people. There are 3 people that live on this road. And this is like the highway. Grand Central Station, there's people in and out of this road. I'm like, what is going on? Well, even at night, people, I'm hearing four-wheelers, all kinds of stuff late in the night, into the night. I went down there and talked to the neighbor after my truck got broke into. And I was like, hey, man, I was like, have you been seeing people out here, like people riding around? And he was like, he said, well, not today. He said, but yeah, there's been a lot of people around. He said, and I told him
cut that
that
out.
my
It's
truck
not-
got broke
it's not our
into.
content.
And he was like, really? He was like, well, the other day, he said, I work nights. He said, I got home at like 3 in the morning, and there was a car, white car with its lights off, parked right in front of your house. He said, I got to my drive. He said, I slowed down, and I turned around to go see if somebody needed help or just see who it was. He said, when I came back, they drove off and sped off towards Concord. So I'm sure that was who got in my truck.
Someone's hearing a hatchback.
Kyle, probably.
It's right when the thing happens.
might have been
Whose
hearing
Kia
something
is
in his
this?
ears.
Whose Kia is this?
He was probably hearing "Get Down"
it's
with
Tom.
the.
No, that Brianna went with some people from
It
church
kind of looked like he
to
looked at his
Hebrew.
hand, though.
When you're on a stage like that, he probably couldn't hear anything else.
He
couldn't hear
probably.
himself.
What did he reach to his ear?
Yeah, he went like
Probably-
this, but he kind of looked like
He was probably being told to get down.
Probably.
My guess.
I'm guessing the Secret Service people were yelling, "Get down, get down, get down!" And he
On
was
stage like that,
listening.
they had to put things in your ears because of echo.
I didn't think about that. But it's like the first gunshot, and he's like, and he just like.
Is it gunshots?
Yeah, it sounds like gunshots.
Yeah.
Oh, did anybody get hit?
Boop, 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 boop.
Okay, so first of all, we're shutting this down. We're about to play D&D, and we got stuff going on. So
Hopefully Donald Trump is not dead when you hear
check
this.
us out on Twitch.